When I do my races, I usually like to give a gear breakdown and kind of give people an idea what I used on the race, even though I'm not like a top three finisher. I am a finisher of the Arkansas High Country. I finished it within 8 days. I'm 46 years old. I did a lot of studying in order to do this race, and I'm pretty happy with my kit. So I wanted to make sure I told people what I did. The first thing I did is I bought a La Segalia. It's a great bike. I have the Rival Access, which is a 12-speed, 44 in the back, electronic. The batteries worked great. I probably could have done it with one battery, but I did bring a spare battery. The power tap was fine, so I got power off of it, and that ran for the whole week without an issue. It's got a carbon seat post and carbon handlebars. They're the Lush, I think they're called, they're called Smoothie Eats Vibration handlebars, carbon. They did great. They took an absolute beating, and they did unbelievable. I did the Continental Race Kings with that black chili compound. I did get a lot of holes. They sealed up very well. This course is very hard on tires, so I was pretty impressed. I used one set of tires for the entire race, for all 1,015 miles, which I probably ended up closer to 1,050 or 60 miles with detours, getting lost, and things like that. I did hear of a guy that had a hard time with his bottle cages, so I'm kind of happy I went with a plastic bottle cage versus a metal bottle cage with welds. They were able to hold together a little better. I was worried they might break, but they didn't. They did really well. I kept my tools in this one here. I kept a bottle in here and a bottle down here. This one, I can't remember. This is I can't remember what this one's called. This is a great pump though. It has a CO2 on the side over here, and it's got a high volume pump. Really helped with the flats, getting the stuff going. Two tubes, one tube strapped here, and then one tube in my bag. I had a Blackburn gas tank that was used for nutrition and everything else. You gotta excuse my dogs. The dogs are just going nuts. I had a Garmin head unit here. I had bags off the front. You'll see pictures of that later on. I broke the bags down so you can see everything inside them. All right, so let's go over just clothing first. So I used the Fenix HRM headlamp. Loved it. Worked out great. 700 lumens. Thing was spot on. Helped me a lot at night as far as like when the headlamp was able to focus on other things besides the trail, while the bike light was focused on the trail. The Giro Recons were comfortable for hiking, a little bit heavy, but they didn't get any wear and tear on the bottom of the soles. The shoes really kind of hung together very well for the amount of rocky terrain I was going over, especially with hiking. So I was really impressed. And these weren't brand new going into it, so they really hold well together. This is a really good shoe. I did not use the insoles from the Recon. I had these Bontraegers that I really like. They dry fast. They're good for your foot, and they're very comfortable, and they don't get a lot of hot spots. I use a Pactimo bib short, the 12-hour. I've done multiple tours with the 12 hours, and I've always enjoyed that short. Very good choice, I think. I had a Craft jersey. The Craft jersey worked out pretty well. I only had to wash it once for the entire trip, I think. So for all 8 days, for 8 days, it got one wash cycle. 3 pairs of D-Feet socks. So this particular D-Feet pair of socks is a medium weight, heavyweight, and a lightweight. I liked all 3. I used all 3 the entire trip. The lightweights I would change out in the middle of the day. The medium weight I really like because for hiking or anything in the morning, I could cycle with it and not be frozen. And then the thicker ones I use for when I was hammock sleeping at night. Bandana. I think the bandana worked better than the buff. Buffs get kind of annoying around your neck, where the bandana is not as hot, but it was really good for the dust and just keeping the sweat. I was able to dunk it in water and douse myself with it a little better, keep myself cool. There were several days that were hot, cold, windy. We had all the conditions, even hail. A Castelli windproof jacket, wore that all the time. It was constantly. I love the bright color of it. It made me feel real safe when I was ever on a road. I would highly recommend anything bright orange that really kind of pulls people's eyes to it so that you don't get hit or anything like that when you go on these roads, because sometimes you're kind of tired out and you need to have that visibility. I have both a Castelli. This jersey is also orange. Let me turn it inside out now, or right side out. I had an orange jersey, orange helmet, and like a bright red vest, which I think really helped my visibility. It kept people away from me. I think people were pretty happy I had that on me. I did bring flip-flops for this trip. I didn't know what to expect, but I was happy I brought them. Sleeping in remote spots, sometimes it's really nice to get out of your shoes and let the toes kind of cool off and air out. Of course, I wouldn't recommend that you bring flip-flops because they're more weight, but in this case, I don't know if I would have went on done it without it. Then I have the dogs are running over everything, knocking the leaves all over the place. Merino wool full sleeve shirt, external barrier Patagonia rain jacket. This color Houdini. It's more of a. It's not like a 2.1. It's more of a. If you get caught in the rain, it gives you a little bit of warmth. I used it a lot for when I slept at night. I would sleep in it. If it was windy or kind of like drizzling at me, I would put that on. It helped out a ton. The craft shorts I could have done without. I went swimming with them just to show that I went swimming with them. I did not need them. 2 pairs of gloves. The other gloves are up here. Those are padded. I wore those 90% of the time. I did bring these. I wore them some of the cold days. They're just lizard skins. There's no padding on them. The Sawyer kit. Get out of here, dog. The Sawyer kit. I really wasn't able to use it at all. Usually on these trips, because you pass so many streams, you can filter water, but they were all dried up, so I really didn't get much of a chance. I actually got pretty hosed on water. If it wasn't for the people of Arkansas, I don't know if I would have survived, because I got a lot of bottles of water. My Skeletal, which I got to use a few times on repairs, never got to use a compass, or had to use a compass. The Garmin was fine as far as keeping me in the right direction. I had 3 bottles, and then what I did is every time I went to a gas station, I would buy 2 or 3 more bottles and stick them into my stuff sack. I had a 20K and a 10K power bank with a Garmin, a Cyclolite 750 with a spare battery, which I used both of them at one point. The lighter, just in case, some bug spray. Not sure we can see that. Bug spray is down here, a little tube of bug spray, in case I needed it. I didn't use the bug spray, but there were bugs. They were coming around me. I'm sure I could have used it, but I stunk bad enough. I didn't really worry about it. A pair of pants. I know these are thicker. I wore these thicker pants. I'm glad I did. When I was doing my prep work, I was wearing a lot of light stuff, but I knew the temperature was gonna be about 40 degrees. If I would have worn my light pants, I think I would have froze. So I was very, very happy I had this and those woolly boogers or whatever they're called, defeats. They made it much more enjoyable, even though I still got cold. A vest, a puffy coat vest that's packable. Arm warmers, used all that. I did have a pack of patches in case I needed it, because I ended up having to use tubes. Chapstick, that helped out a lot. By day 3, my lips were already getting chapped from the wind and the dryness. As far as packs go, that is a Terrapin Revelate. That worked out very well. It's been on probably 6 tours, and it always amazes me just how tough it is I still don't think there's any rips or anything on here whatsoever. Shines of wear and tear. These things are just built tough forever. That dry bag didn't get any moisture in the rain. I did borrow my friend's Ortlieb sweet roll and front roll. That took a little bit of mastery, but we figured it out. I called them up when I was in Springdale complaining about this thing flopping all around, and then we figured out that there was a strap on the bottom side of this thing here, which was supposed to be attached to the front of the bike here. And you can see the wear and tear here. Let me see if I get that in there. See the wear and tear here? So I had to attach it here, and once I did that, it stopped smashing the front of the bike, and you can see the damage it did, the paint job. So I got that. I had a dirt bag, frame bag. Glad I brought that. Had to stuff a lot of sandwiches in there. It gave me a lot of volume to move things around and carry a lot of equipment. I pretty much used all my equipment, so I was very happy that I had this bag. It really did well. And I also like too, is that this is Velcro versus zippers. I like the Velcro, easier. You can fit more stuff in there. It's more flexible than if the zipper, it feels like you're always jamming everything in there and trying to squeeze it in there. Bottle bag. That bottle bag is too small. This is an older Revel 8 bottle bag. I need to get a newer one because fitting bottles in there was quite the challenge. It was better for trash than anything else. And then what do you want to call that? A bento bag or just another frame bag. That one worked out really good. It held a lot of my nutrition, pills, and things like that I was taking. As far as the sleep kit, I had the original travel hammock from Grand Trunk. That worked out really well. No tears, no nothing like that. I had a friend that had one from Eno, and it failed. It ripped through the middle. This hammock's been through a lot. Never had a problem. This is a Jack's Are Better quilt. That thing worked out really well. This Helos string up kit, love it. Super light, easy to use, and it does not fail. Great for hammock sleeping. My Rainfly, which is a sill, I used it for everything from a barrier, from rain to like a silk liner in order to keep more warmth. And then a Sierra Designs pillow. I still have to master the pillow. That thing deflated. It was annoying. I gotta get a new one of these days. This is a towel. This is a quick cover towel. It's made out of some kind of microfiber. It's a local company in Missouri. Real good company. They make seat covers and stuff like that too. I need to get some of those. But that towel works really good on tours. That right there is just my little kit. This got in there fork, spork, toothpaste, earplugs, melatonin sunscreen, dental floss, and Tums. That's just like my ready kit from when I go to bed. Make sure I got everything going. And then over here, here's some of the nutrition. So I have a medical kit first of all. That's my more in-depth medical kit if I really need something. Everything from lidocaine to allergy medicine to Excedrin, Advil, Soul blanket, like a, what do you call this? Emergency blanket, hot hands, dental floss, moleskin, Visine, Halls, and it looks like I got some Band-Aids in it too. Also KT tape, always important to bring. I used it like 3 times, once across the knee and for both my ankles for support across some of those rocky areas. Noon Tablets Fizz, I'm a big believer in those things. No real sweeteners, but a lot of electrolytes. When you're in these remote areas, it's a lot easier to either filter or just buy water and add your supplement to it instead of trying to like get around Gatorades and all that other stuff that gives you kind of a sour gut. Always happy with my Endurolights from Hammer. I have a small bag and a big bag, and the small bag goes into here, so that does my daily. and then in my resupply is the big bag. That was my ditch in case stuff really went badly. I did have a food replacement for a night if I needed it. All three, what do you call those things? Vials or Hydro packs were filled with hammer gel, which I used all three, and I filled them up once again. I filled one of them once again in Springdale. So I used 4 Hydro packs full of gel for this trip. I had a tube inside my frame bag. That's an extra strap. So you can see the strap over here. That strap's really nice to be able to attach things to. It's really strong. It's from Original Free Range. They make straps. What else do I got? I got that, and I have this little. So Original Free Range, they make these little carbon fiber Phoenix holders that you can attach to your helmet. So I got that, and I got these things, these spongies. They're fairly cost efficient, and they did make it nice. So this thing wasn't flying around. What I could have done is I could have taken the strap out and used zip ties, but that worked out pretty good. I kind of like this. I'll be using this all winter long. The only thing I didn't like is that the tape did finally give out, but they give you enough. They give you extra tape, so I'll be able to retape that, no problem at all, and tape it down there. But that light is awesome. So what was I at? So all right, so that was that. That's this cord here. This is an extra cord in case I needed it. I did bring about $200 worth of cash. We stayed at the Lotus Inn. The Lotus Inn was a great place to stay. Little mom and pop shop. Doesn't look like anything from the outside, but once you go inside of it, they're so nice. They let us park the car there. They told us they would help us out if we needed anything, like we need to get picked up or, you name it, we would be there for us. All right, now on to the toolkit. Okay, the toolkit, I used everything. Everything from the plugs. No, I didn't use everything, I shouldn't say that. All right, so I used the majority of this. So I had the on the bike holder, so that was right here. That contained all that stuff. So I have a small thing of lube that I refilled, tire lever, plugs, CO2s in case of emergency, more plugs. I ran out of plugs, and then a park tool kit and a towel. Then I had the big kit that was in the frame bag. I had the cleaner, another derailleur hanger, two quick links, zip ties, wolf tooth, I forget what this one's called, but this one has like 15 different functions. Boot, 2 boots, sewing thread needle, this dart system, Stan's dart system, which I would never recommend. I brought it anyway. I should have left it at home. I'll never use it. They break off. They're not that good. And then a full set of brake pads and a shoe cleat. And that's about it for there. Zip ties. And I did bring an extra 2 Velcro straps in case I needed them. I went through one thing of sealant on the trail. When I got to Jackalope, Johnny did both tires. He must have put 100 cc in there because I got a lot of holes and they always sealed up. So he did a fantastic job making sure I was set up. I used almost half a bottle. That's why I was filling this smaller bottle up with this bottle, and then at night using this. So I used about a half a bottle completely of lube on that trail. It's extremely dusty. I'm very happy with the setup I had this time. I mean, I think I used the majority of everything that was in my kit. I don't know if I would do without any of it. The bike was awesome. The front shock took a lot of the hammering out of my hands. I have no fatigue. There's no nerve damage. And the electronic shifting was phenomenal. It's my first time. I was really hesitant about the electronic shifting because I'm a mechanical type of guy, and I think I am now a believer. One thing I did do on the handlebars because I don't do aero, just because I'm not comfortable that much in aero, is I double tape these, and I also put a gel liner on underneath it. So they're very cushy, very comfortable. That helped out a lot. I did not go through more than one set of brake pads, but I am a mountain biker, so I can go pretty fast downhill. I would highly recommend that you bring an extra set of brake pads. It is a tough downhill course. One thing I did do, because you go into a lot of gas stations, on my Presta, I made sure to bring a Schrader in case I would need it. The pedals are XT. Is there anything else? I think that's about it. Like I said, I was really happy with my kit. The only thing I was kind of upset with was my Garmin kept going dead. So I had to have my charger up in my gas tank up there, charging it constantly. Besides that, everything was great.